I don't think we should leave the farmers' strike as the news of yesterday, because I think it's still relevant today. You have to picture England as a patchwork quilt, each square a field, a hedge, a story, woven together by generations of labour and love. And this is the spirit of England, rooted in its farms. They're not just places of production, but emblems of identity, of history, of resilience. As the Highlines define Scotland, as the valleys embody Wales, as the green countryside shapes Ireland, on Erin's Green Valley, it's the fields and the farms that texture England. To lose them is to lose more than land. It's to sever ourselves from centuries of cultural and historical continuity. Farming has always been central to England's narrative, at least from the Middle Ages. From the open field systems of medieval times to the enclosures of the 18th century, the stone walls and the hedgerows that now dot our landscape are monuments to human ingenuity and endurance as much as they are habitats for wildlife. And we got this from the Romans. The Romans saw themselves as farmers and they passed this on to us. Yet today this inheritance, this heritage, is threatened. Policies like Labour's inheritance tax, they invade our farmland, they risk our farmland, not just the livelihood of farmers, but the integrity of rural England itself. It isn't just about people sitting on a rich inheritance. It's not about self-interest, but about a love of the land, the farmer's craft, their contribution to our shared identity. As Jeremy Clarkson, not somebody I would usually champion, and an unlikely champion himself of the countryside, he put it, why should farmers pay for the inefficiencies of government? His populist fervour echoes a deeper trust. These fields, these lives, these facts deserve preservation, not penalty. And this is not about preserving the rich, it's about preserving a way of life that sustains us all. English farms produce food, yes, but they also produce meaning. They are the setting of Wordsworth's odes, Hardy's tales, Constable's canvases. They are the fields Shakespeare's characters plough and scatter, the gardens to which our wills are gardeners. The patchwork fields are also a metaphor for England itself, a mosaic of diversity united by common purpose. They represent resilience and continuity. They're about embodying the lessons of farming itself. That is, we reap what we sow. Nature is cyclical, and the stewardship matters. Shakespeare reminds us in Richard II, this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England. It's not hyperbole to say that the farm is England's strength and soul. Yet government after government, so I'm not being tribal here, has treated farmers like an afterthought. The post-Brexit landscape promised a golden age for agriculture, but what do we get? A rush to cut subsidies, flood the market with cheap imports, burden farmers with unsustainable policies. This after the mess of George Eustace. The promise of a greener, fairer farming future has been squandered. And now farmers must contend not only with the unpredictable weather and market forces, but with bureaucratic ignorance imposed by urban elites on a rural economy. The effects are devastating. The uncertainty is certain. The small family farms, the bleating heart of rural communities, the sheep in the fold, are being priced out, left to wither like untended crops. Hedgerows are disappearing, biodiversity collapsing, and the fields that fed us through wars, the land army, the crises that fields have endured, that farms have endured, risk becoming distant memories. I was brought up on stories about the land army. I was brought up knowing how to milk a cow, how to look after chickens, how to deal with pigs, how to sort out sheep. And yes, I spent a lot of my early life on a farm. I then spent my 20s running around hillsides looking after goats, and all the stuff that I learned when I was a child was put into practice. I was even able to drive a Massey Ferguson up and down Greek hills. I didn't know how to switch it on, I didn't know how to switch it off, but there were always people who were around who could leap on and do that for me. I still don't know how to drive a car, but my goodness, I plough a particularly straight furrow. This is about identity. It's about who we are as a nation. It's about not just an occupation, not just the occupation of farming, it's about an act of faith in the land and in the future. Farmers don't work for profit alone, they work for posterity. Take away the posterity and what is left? As Hesiod taught his feckless brother, the true value of a farm is in the care and the effort invested into its soil and its soul. So let's not allow short-sighted policies of wretched individuals destroy what centuries of toil and care have built up. We need to fight for our farmers. It's not a left versus right obsession. It's not a tribal alliance or allegiance. It's not just because these people are rich or poor, but because they are stewards of a shared inheritance. For us, they are looking after what makes us, us. We need to protect the quilt work, the patchwork, this glorious vision of England. It is part of the UK. It is part of our cultural inheritance. It's part of our shared heritage, ensuring that the fields, the hedgerows, the stone walls remain a testament to resilience, not just a memory and wind in the willows. They remain there for their beauty, their unity, their utility.